Absolutely.
Let me ask you,
what did you think of, I mean, obviously through being a coach on the show and training with him afterwards, was it tough to watch the fight on Saturday night to see Chuck? I mean, obviously it seems like that's going to be the end of him. I just want to get your impressions of that because he's a legend, but obviously we're all sad to, kind of see him go and lose a fight like that. I know we hate to see that.
Well, I mean, regardless of what happened, I don't like to look at the bad and everything. Of course, he did get caught and at the end of the round, and I mean, that definitely sucks, but man, he came out, he took him down, he landed like 4 or 5 hard shots, he threw a kick, and, I mean, he ended up, busting Franklin's arm, but, it is rough to see, but it was pretty impressive, and, if he decides to retire, that's that, but he definitely doesn't have anything more to prove. I mean, he's one of the guys at the forefront of this sport, and, I mean, he really doesn't have to prove anything to anybody else. And, if he decides to retire, I'd back him 100%. If he decides to keep fighting, if he wants my help, I'm in. But, I mean, he's definitely, I have a newfound respect for Chuck Liddell, that's for sure. He's a quiet, soft-spoken guy, and he helps a lot of people. So, it was a bummer to see that happen. It definitely was pretty horrible to see, but that's part of this sport, man. Them little gloves on, sometimes you get caught, man. And, that's part of it. You train all this time and under the assumption, that you can catch that guy or you can get caught. But, that's part of it. That's part of competition.
Yeah. And Court, you and Kris both were, I would say 2 of the quieter guys on the show. I mean, you guys were never involved in any of the, the shouting matches in the house, and and everyone that we've spoken to from the show has said, you were one of the quieter guys, kind of kept to yourself and just, stayed to the training. I mean, does that kind of stand to reason that you guys, the hard workers, the guys that just kind of kept your nose down and in training, this is the reason why you're in the finals? I mean, do you feel that was a factor in why you and Kris are here as opposed to somebody else?
Well, I wasn't trying to act like anything. I was more than anything, I was just trying to be me. And I'm not the, that's probably why I didn't make it on season 7 when I tried out. I'm not the guy that starts fights. I don't get into arguments, and if anything, I try and stay out of that stuff. But I just didn't put myself in a situation, and I made sure. I went there for one reason, man, and that was to fight, and to win, and to bring something to the experience and take something out of it. And, I was able to do that, and, I met a lot of good dudes on there. So it was a positive experience. Granted, it's not the easiest position to put yourself in to compete well, but by the end of them 6 weeks, you're pretty beaten down and broke down. And the only positive thing out of it is, everybody else in there's beat down and broken down too. So, that's all I got on that.
Yeah. And a question for Kris. Kris, you fought, 5 times on the show. It's the most anyone's ever fought in the show's history. You were a pretty quick finisher in a lot of your early fights in your career. I mean, do you feel like, the performances you had on the show, while they were wins, they were kind of too far removed from what you actually did in your fights or what we're going to see in this fight?
I thought before, my career, I just the level just changed, man. You see the guys on the show, everybody on the show either lost a fight or got injured, that competitive. And like Cole was saying, everybody came to the fight to win the thing, and so we had fun and everything, but everybody was there for business. Everybody keeps telling me there wasn't that many pranks.
A lot of good guys too, man.
Yeah, so the level just stepped up, and then I caught that loss, and then I had to just regroup and and just dig down in my training and just really grind it out, man. It showed me and Court's toughness and heart and determination, and I talked to him throughout the house, and we knew each other knew that we're grinders, we're dark horses, but we got heart, and we're going to be there until from bell to bell. Even with that fight with Josh Bryant, I was dead tired, but I kept coming. And kept coming, and then I didn't give up the choke. So I knew what kind of guy Court was. He's a solid, strong type, kind of like my older brother. And he has his little. He's funny too at times. He knows when they're coming for his punchlines and everything. And I was a bit more loud and everything, but I was cool. Everybody pretty much got along, and they were there to fight. And that's what I think for me. Good experience.
And from all the different, training you had, going from Tito to Rich and fighting 5 times, all that stuff. I mean, now you've had your full camp with Lloyd Irvin and your regular team at home. I mean, do you feel like that's a big difference in what we'll see on Saturday night with what you're going to bring in there?
I mean, definitely for Court and I both, on that show, like you said, it's tough. You're fighting every week, and I fought every week, and you score, hurt my knee, and this and that, and we're going through injuries and stuff, and it's rough on your body, and you have to be mentally strong, And I think, maybe situations that me and Court were in before the show helped us prepare for that mental challenge. On the show, we've been through some things, and we talked about it. And he's a good guy, man. I have family up in Utah and everything, and I'm sure I'm going to see him later, and I'm asking for some help and stuff like that, because that's the kind of relationship everybody built on the show. So, definitely, I went through my stuff on the show, but I was there for that. I was prepared mentally for any of that stuff to come up, and I think I did a good job, and I know Court did a damn good job too. So now it's both of us. We're here staring at each other. So.
Awesome. Best of luck on Saturday night, guys.
Your next question comes from the line of Elliot Olshansky.
Just for starters, Court, if we could go back to the question I wanted to ask before, the fact that in the past the show has been known for a lot of drinking and wild things that happened when people had been. Were you expecting to have more of that around you, and were you expecting more of a test in terms of what you had to come back from?
Well, I tried to not have any expectations coming onto the show at all, but I questioned myself seriously before I made it on there when they called and said you made it. I was putting myself in a situation where there'd be alcohol, but and with my past of the drugs and the alcohol, there's drugs and alcohol everywhere. So, it's nothing for me to go somewhere and get a drink if I want one, But I got to remember where I came from and what it was like when I was drinking and using. I was pretty miserable. So I just, questioned myself before I come, was I coming here for the right reasons? And the answer was, yeah, man. I came here for the opportunity to better, take care of my family. My career of a professional MMA fighter. I was a professional MMA fighter before I came on the show, and this is a huge opportunity to better my career. And so, I questioned myself. Hey, am I putting myself in a dangerous situation? And I didn't feel I was. I came here to fight and win, not to drink and party or, But it's definitely a little added pressure, and. There's sometimes I think about, hey man, a drink sounds good, but I know where that takes me if I take a drink. So, I went in good spirits and knew that I wasn't going there and going to be trying to battle that the whole time. But, I had a couple of years behind me where I haven't drank, over a little over 4 years. And so, I just, questioned myself before I went in and said, are you going here for the right reasons? And I was, and that was to better my situation with my family. And, the payout is that I can better take care of my family, and I actually can spend more time with my son and my wife and my new baby on the way, So, it's great. I love it. So,
Hey, congratulations, Court.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
And then for Kris, a lot's been made of the fact that both you guys had lost your first fights, but in Court's case there was. There was more controversy. There were a lot of people who thought that he should have had the win, or at least the third round with Nick Ring, where it was pretty clear that what happened the first time you fought Josh. Do you feel like you have any more to prove than he has after having come back, or do you feel like everybody's on even ground in those terms?
I think we're on even ground. I think we proved it out.
Great.
In the show, we went through a lot. Court's a good guy. I remember the last day when everybody went out, I gave Court my wallet because, look, I know me and I know you. He's a strong-willed guy. He's determined, and he has my back. Even though we're fighting each other, I feel like I could call him up for anything, and I want him to be able to do the same. And everyone had that kind of mentality, man. They were there to fight, and that's what we did. And every fight, I think everybody left it out there. You never really saw any quit inside the cage. Guys are tired or hurt, or Rich broke his hand and he's still fighting in there until he got the knee. And and even Tavares, when there's a fight after he got kicked in the face, and then apologetic for that. So definitely, all these guys, man, good dudes, man.
All right, thanks.